Hello, one and all, and welcome to the Animosity Smite League. My name is Moonmellows. I'm joined here by the one and only Rye. Our lovely prod is the amazing Ash Lynn. We have for you a great matchup tonight. The Sewer is finally fighting someone that isn't Team. That is, in fact, Weeboo Fan Club. Rye, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. I like to see these high-level games coming through. How about yourself?
I love high level games. I love to see these teams. The Sewer on a winning streak, mind you. 2-0 so far in this league, and now seems to might be at a team that can make them work for it, right? Daji, Uyi taken off the table. Kali, Apua taken off the table for the Chaos side there. That is going to be some good bands taken off the board, and honestly, everything makes sense to me.
Yeah, this Yi, it looks to be a little bit of a target ban for Frozen Fangs. I remember looking through an older game by him, and that was just it was a menace to deal with. So I totally respect the Yi ban. Outwash and the Kali ban coming through and the Daji are all very traditional bans, so, very standard to see it, including a Cerberus.
Cerberus taken off the board, so no big circle going into the sky and then landing you where my team landing. Very good support, and we're getting Musi comfortable nice and early on this Thor pick. This guy, this is a guy. Is it too far out of bound for me to say that this is kind of a comfort pick for Musi now?
I totally agree. I mean, you've seen how he's performed with the Thor in most of these other sets. He's got amazing walls, he's got good game sense and amazing, like, just mechanics. So I think that the Thor is extremely comfortable for Musi here.
Also comfortable as Big Tony on the Big Aladdin in the Big 2026. Mordred was hovered, but not selected. Disco instead going to take that place, and talk about a big top two, right? Aladdin, a character who doesn't maybe have the same early game pressure as a Thor, but that late game, ooh, buddy.
Yeah, 100%. Aladdin is going to be a big question for the Sewer to answer, and Sobek being hovered. I like Sobek into Discordia. I think Sobek is one of the better Guardians. Oh, never mind. We're switching it up to Geb potentially, but going a lot of these high CC supports or solo laners is really good into a Discordia just because she has such a fairly short dash, and it is going to be Sobek locked in.
I would have been surprised if we see the Geb in game at number 1. Mort is the fiend on this Geb solo pick, but surprised if he pulled it out in game number 1. But instead, Sobek, so that's still a flex pick, right, for the support and solo lane here. And Mordred on her being locked in. Still don't really have any questions where these two guys are going. Mordred slotting comfortably into that solo lane, and on her holding up the ADC mantle.
Yeah, 100%. On her into Ishtar. Ishtar is, from what I've heard, widely regarded as one of the best, if not the best ADC in the game right now. And I believe that just because, like, if you play the Aspect Ishtar and you get a small lead, you are really easily able to snowball that into a late game lead. On her, on the other hand, is extremely good in the early game. Like, you have that flat pen on your passive, and you have the option, and you have that penetration on your Shifting Sands pillar. I love Ares and Aphrodite. These are some very interesting picks to me.
I agree. Ares is going to be able to take out a lot of beads on the table, and Sobek, Thor, and Ishtar, honestly, able to really relish those resources being down. And now an Aphrodite for Tez Die. I can only assume that's what I go to. That's where it's going to go. And I don't know. This is kind of like we've seen it rise and have really good success and support. But do you think this Aphrodite is going to be able to pilot well in the mid lane?
Against the Discordia, I think Aphrodite might have a little bit of a hard time. Discordia able to dodge that kiss, able to dodge those ravens is really big because that's most of Aphrodite's like kit. And I do believe that there's maybe a world where this is just such an interesting composition from the Sewer. So I'm unsure where the Sobek and Ares are going to go. I like to see the Ares in the support, but maybe Sobek into the solo lane would be really interesting to me, especially against a Mordred.
Yeah, the Croc kind of a hard time against Mordred here. Hua Mulan gonna round out the draft, the Weeboo fan club, and talk about weird Alts, right? Hua Mulan. Is that going into the support role?
I think so. I have now. Might be a crazy take, but I love Mordred support. I think that it's a really fun pick. If you want to just go for some really early game aggression, you hit level 2 and then you have like extremely high prots on the 2, or you go the 3 for the slow and the chase down. But with an on her, maybe you're able to use that really valuably, and going this early game pressure is perfect against Ishtar. So if it's either of them, then maybe, I mean, it's going to be an interesting duel lane to say the least, regardless, because both teams have two characters that can flex into multiple different roles.
A dual lane to run it down in for sure. Hindu Man Malam gonna have their plates full with Huan and Fangs here in this game. But lots to really excited and to sink your teeth into and really think about how these teams are going to play in the late game. Listen, it wouldn't be a sewer game if we wouldn't have a weird kind of opportunity here just looking at these drafts. So it is going to be Morty piloting that solo Beck. Hindu Man taking the mantle up of that Ares here. And it is going to be Juan piloting the Mulan overall. So no Mordred solo, or no Mordred support, excuse me. So we're safe for now.
Yeah, like I said, both of them are going to bring extreme high pressure. Against an Ares though, I don't know. Ares is one of the only supports in the game that can actually just kill you at level 1. Like Ares and Yamoja are my two personal favorites of gods that can just straight up kill you at level 1. I know Ares is likely going to level the fire for the, clear on the minions, but if you level the 1 and go for an invade, like it's something that I've done in the past. It works extremely effectively.
Ares, a god of war, being able to burn it down and have a lot of clear. Wouldn't be surprised if we see the aggression, the sparks fly early over here in the duo lane, but everywhere else is going to be kind of chill. We got a party in the mid lane, fireworks abound, so Tezdai really lock it in just to have kind of a more relaxing early game.
Yeah, I will say, looking across these items, that's a Boomba's hammer on the Aphrodite. I like this. This is fairly interesting to me, just because you do get a little bit of the burst potential into the late game, and you get that like cooldown reset on the auto procking.
Very interesting tech here that Tezdai is applying. And Afro, kind of a god who can apply those Boomba Hammer procs well, right? Able to like kiss a bunch, also doing a lot of damage in the dual lane is Malum, but it's been turned right back around. Autos are gonna be good, but here is the shell to keep ourselves alive. And there's that bird, baby bird that we wanted to see. Fangs able to slip away from this fight for now. So no one falls just yet, but we sure are poked.
Yeah, 100%. It's just kind of like Ares brings so much pressure when you compare it to a Mulan who is down on level, and you're able to go for these contested objectives and just absolutely force a lead onto your Ishtar. With that gilded arrow means that he's gonna get ahead, and you're going to have a very easy time into the mid game.
Absolutely. Damage abound coming through. And that's the second, like, Cholo Shark we've seen jumping around. A bunch of Sobek fans in this game. I love seeing that little VFX ply around. But for the most part, we're 2 minutes in. I'm not expecting anything to happen. I say that, and we see Musi getting ready for an early gank on the duo side, but seems like he's been sniffed out. So too little too late. Close, but no cigar.
Yeah, but looking at these, like you have the AoE autos onto the Ishtar. I really like it just because when your team like goes for a rotation, you're able to clear that wave so effectively, and I think that that brings so much value into just having all of your abilities up for when a gank does happen. So Ishtar is one of the best ADCs in my opinion when it comes to coming out for free ganks.
Sure able to win lanes quite handedly once she gets those items online as well. And now was able to get back home. Now has a tier 2 in her pocket. So these trades just going to keep coming up in her favor as long as she doesn't let this on her back and spend that gold he has in his hand. So far, these teams playing the map really well. In fact, Weeboo fan club, making their way over to these rocks. And even before it spawns, they're sitting here ready for it. Musi steps forward, caught it out, but the wall's going to be good to stun the advance from Aladdin. Musi isn't afraid. And in fact, he's going back in. The damage is even better, but he's alone all by himself. The beads forced on out, and here comes the apple. But a huge ultimate from Desdai keeps him alive for now. But unfortunately, it's not good enough because the strife is even better. Big Tony gets big first blood in the first game.
Very good vision from the Discordia here. That was an amazing apple. You bounced it off the wall and landed it right on Musi. I mean, just principle, you hit level 5 as a mid, and you say, yeah, I'm going to show it to you right in your face. There's a golden apple, buddy. Go ahead and take a bite.
There's that team fight we were mentioning where just a Discordia is going to be a little bit stronger, at least in these early fights with that damaging ability. But you get aggressive in mid lane. Malum and Hindu sure going to get aggressive in the dual lane, able to secure that purple buff invade. But at least we're losing a little bit, but these guys, they're just going to keep holding W.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think they know what the S key is even for. Like I personally I think it's unbounded, but
I think they
um
ripped it out of their keyboards. Yeah.
yeah, 100%. But what I want to see into this mid game is I want to see a big rotation onto this dual lane. When you have early pressure on an Ares plus a Ishtar in your dual lane for the sewer, I want to see Thor get over there and get active. Like getting a early Gold Fury is never off the table when you have those Ishtar autos on your side.
And you mentioned it, Musi just clicked over to level 5, so Hindu, while getting aggressive in the dual lane, gets some good poke out. Means Musi has a particular target to look forward. Here comes the Blades of Retribution, forces out the beads, but jumping forward is Frozen Fangs. That guy, the 1 HP and a dream to kill, but Musi is here in the sky, landing it all down, gets the kill. Fangs sent to the grave, and the hammer is going to be even better. Music Clan with a double kill.
Look at this Aladdin though. Aladdin might be getting caught out here. I hope that there's no aggression here from Bing Toading, but he might look for a kill here.
He's wide in the wall, and it's going to do some damage onto Malum. Here comes the genie. The punches are going to be even good, but the hammer, the wall is perfect. Beads forced out into Big Tony. Now he's in trouble. He's wishing for power, wishing for some escape. Misses the wall slightly, though, but takes Musi into the lamp, but the spin is even better. Big Tony, you can't step up to Big Musi.
She's sitting outside of the ultimate. Look out, Ares.
Trouble, but Malum is never afraid. The pillar is good, and Music Clan falls on down. Juan credited with that kill, but Malum is able to shuffle away with 1/2 HP in a dream.
That was just, I mean, there's just so much fighting. When you have an Aladdin able to just take a person into the lamp, and then you have the rest of your team able to catch up and, get a trade, that's always valuable. Unfortunately, you trade out the ult and you trade out the wish for power, but I mean, at the end of the day, you did get the enemy jungler, so he's 2 for 2 and you're 1 for 1. So you're probably pretty happy with that.
These teams feeling pretty solid about how this game is so far. It's pretty even, 6 minutes in, and barely 400 gold dispersing the two of them. And well, kills, you mentioned it, pretty even, right? Musi has more of the team's kills on his back, so that probably feels good if you're him. But everywhere else is pretty spread out.
Yeah, and looking at these items, I love to see this, but we've got a Devo stacking on this Mordred. Bluebird, big fan of the Devos on Mordred. I think it works extremely well. I honestly like going a little bit more of a non-traditional build. You go a little bit more into the power, into the int. But I think the Devos and going like this lifesteal build is really effective on Mordred. So I just want to see how it's going to work out when you rotate.
Man steps forward into the mid lane, just gets some damage off, but Musi, ever present, is going to land on down and get some huge damage onto Juan. But we have that training art to be able to get ourselves out of danger. Beads forced out into Musi, but now we're in trouble. Tony is here to take out Musi, and the damage is going to be even good on the backside of it. Strife misses, but into the sky, R2, and lands back down. Tezdai sent to the grave, and Hindu Man might be soon to fall. 4 members are here, and a pool is perfect. Hindu Man falls along with the rest of his team. Weaboo fan club comes out on top, and they're starting to rotate over to the Gold Fury.
And they're just gonna pick this up immediately. You have basically the whole team in dual lane, and Malum's in trouble.
Malum gets soloed out in the duo lane. Musi is the only one who's going to try and be around for this Gold Fury, but too little, too late, unable to steal it away. Tony has the better secure this time. and a wall's gonna be good to try and save our life, but the rest of the team is on top of him. Musi already falls down.
Wow, just so much damage in CC after that slash from the Mordred, able to lock him down for just a little bit. That's all that you need, and the hammer going in for the Gold Fury Steel does mean that Musi is just a sitting duck with no ultimate and no hammer. Thor is basically just sitting there, like he has no mobility.
Talk about Whiplash. Barely 2 minutes ago, these teams had 400 gold diffing between them, and now we're pretty much at a solid 3k gold lead. A couple kills and a gold fury would do that for you quite handedly. And if that isn't enough for you, might as well get ourselves the mid ritual as well. So we're gonna have lane pressure, a little bit of extra local gold for those who decide to step up around it, and it's all about building that pressure and snowball.
Yeah, 100%. And now that you have a jungler and a mid laner who are practically ahead both ways, you're able to just say, we're gonna play through the mid lane. We're going to go for these big fights over these mid and duo side and left side objectives or solo side objectives, and we're just gonna wait for you guys to engage, and we're gonna win the fight.
In the fight, win the rocks. Weeboo fan club getting some nice objectives over on the map. Musi though holding over the left side of the map, looking for a gank, and it looks like his game plan is to try and get Malum at least even back in this lane, but he's been spotted out, so unfortunately, no such luck to try and get some help for him. Morton, you might need the help as well, though, because lurking in the waters is not going to be good enough. But the knockups are perfect into the sky. Mort able to dodge it around. Mordred has to run back home, back to base. Feels like every time I'm looking at the big Morton, man, this guy is unkillable, impossible to take on down. 1 HP in a dream, but forget about that, because over the left side of the map, 3 are in the jungle. Juan falls to Tez die. That's a goddess of love getting a kill.
Wow, really good like vision here. You get a gank in the solo lane, so you just go in and look at Honor.
On her rotating all the way over from the duo lane. Desert Fury going to be good, but hey, that Undying Love is even better, and the damage is just fantastic. Fangs has to back on out. The sewer getting aggressive nice and early. Musy's in the sky looking for a place to land. He's going to find it, but the disperse is even better. Up, down, Musy, go back home.
Wow, that's so heartbreaking. You land the on her up downs you, and your beads just does not come through fast enough. You That is very heartbreaking for Musi there. I mean, now I think I just need to see the sewer back up a little bit, take a little bit of time and go for some farm and stop taking these kind of pointless engages. Like, Hindu man, what are we doing here?
Hinduman, a guy who just loves to run it down, spots an Aladdin in his jungle, and Malum might be the real one in trouble. 3 people on a rotation over to him. Juan is here, and it's gonna get cut off by Big Tony, but Hinduman is here to try and bust his support out. Into the lamp is sent Hinduman, and the damage is just beautiful. Cersei's Hexstone and a shell keeps us alive just for a little bit longer. Beads were forced out, so the no escape pulls us back in. All the meanwhile, Malum on the outside getting run down by 2, but Hinduman hiding behind a wall is going to be careful. Juan takes out Malum, and high-res Hinduman falls to Big Tony. And deaths just all across the board. Musi shows up just to fall down as well. 3 dead for the sewer.
That is so hard. That just shows just how much value you get from that Aladdin ultimate into the lamp. You bring a member of the enemy team into a completely different section of the game, and look at this pull.
Huge pull forces out the beads onto Tezdine, and the apple goes straight into her mouth. Damage is good, but hey, we got an undying love, means we're not dying today.
Okay, that was a good ultimate from Tezdai here. But like I'm saying, Aladdin brings so much utility that even when his numbers are low, which currently they are not low, they're extremely potent when you go this double stacking build. Even when your numbers are low, you're bringing out so much value with just the team wide fight potential that you bring with that ultimate. Pulling someone out of the fight and potentially 2 or 3 members where you are super tanky inside of that ultimate and you have your cooldown refreshes, it's just so valuable. As we saw in that last fight, leaving 2 members out to kill Malum while your Aladdin just sits inside of the thing, just absolutely spectacular.
The Fangs gets caught out here in the duo lane. The beads are forced on out, but we got to jump away. So unfortunately, the aggression from the casters is not going to be good enough this time. Fangs able to leave away, but Musy's here in the sky, lands on down, gets the kill. Hey, if you pitch a tent in duo lane long enough, you'll eventually come up with gold.
100%. I love this, like, I do like that you're just sitting in the duo lane just because you know that you're probably not gonna be able to make anywhere else work, and Malum when Malum is going to be able to get ahead, that means that this is going to be a really dangerous game.
Juan over the wall. The sewer pulling the Gold Fury, but the apple is going to be even better. Root knocked up. The damage is spreading. Hindu Man taking a lot of it, but Tezdai left on her lonesome in the back line. Hindu is here with a no escape to try and pull us back in, but Tony sends us into the lamp. Malum takes out Unknown Element, but Tezdai screeched out of life by Tony, and now it's a fight for mid laners, both dead, but Morty is here, shut down onto Big Tony, and the Big Croc is looking for more. He's stepping forward, trying to get something done. Awesome, made a rotation over is Mordred. Musicland falls on down, and here comes the Heart Slash to heal us back up. Malum is in trouble, but we're still hitting those autos. They're still raining home, and we're still doing damage. Unfortunately, it's not enough. Malum follows to the grave with 3 members. The rest of his team, Morty, can't survive this one, big boy. Sent to the grave as well. That's a triple kill for Blue Bridge.
Wow, what an amazing way to contest this Gold Fury. You go in, you throw out the Discordia apple, you throw out the Aladdin ult onto one of the backline members and just straight up kill. And then you just manage to like clean up the fight, your Mordred goes in and engages, and you just get the Gold Fury. Oh, never mind.
Not just yet. Hindu Man is here to sway the aggression. Sent into the sky, and Stampede is going to be good. And Tezdai, we got a lovely kiss on your lips. Here's some damage, though. Tezdai, huge shutdown onto the Mordred, and Musi is trying to stay alive. The Undying Love keeps us living, but not for long enough. Tony gets that kill, but the damage from this Aphrodite is good, but we might have been caught on out. Tony has damage for days, but we have Peel as well. Juan trying to catch out Malum here, and it's going to be good, but the Blade's Retribution stuns them out. Sent to the grave as well. Morty gets a double kill, and this Croc feeling big about themselves, looking for a pluck, stepping forward to the Unknown Element. And there's one thing that is for sure. There's a pluck coming her way, stuck into the message of 3. Hindu Man pulls her back in. There surely is no escape from this one. Tezdai gets another kill.
I was about to say that Weeboo's just picked up the Gold Fury and got it for free, but Hinderman goes in and somehow turn and makes them all drop it for some reason. And they just took a fight and it just never stops ending. They just keep on fighting.
This fight has been going on for 5 minutes, all for 1 Gold Fury. Blue steps forward to 4 and falls over the wall's fangs, but I'm not sure if we can even dream about stealing this one away. Musi steps forward to the rest of the team, and over the wall comes Fangs. The damage might be good, but the pluck is even better. Tezdai secures it, and now Fangs, you jump towards us, so you can't jump away. Morty gets that kill as well, and Musi's just going to land at his backhands.
Wow. At not a single point in that fight could you ever say which thing was going to happen next. Were they going to go for the Gold Fury? Were they going to try and stick it and go for the secure? No, they go for the fight. They drop the gold. They go back for the gold. They drop the gold. They go to the fight, and then they finally get the Gold Fury. And the Onherd comes in for a unfortunate miss.
Unfortunate as well. Juan gets plucked back into the fight, and that's a CC chain for you. Tezdai takes them out, but into the sky goes Malum. Here's the damage. Can you survive? Musicland can't. Tony takes him out, and into the lamp goes Hindu. Here's the damage for days. No escape brings Tony back in, but Tezdai is here to try and get some damage off, but it's not enough to save Hindu Man. Now it's just Tezdai against 3. Can she do it? Can she get the kill? Yes, she can. Undying Love. Tony falls on down, and now it's just Aphrodite versus 2. And this is one sustaining Aphrodite. She's trying to 1v3, but can't do it for long enough. Mort unable to save his mid laner. So 4 members down. Might as well kill some minions.
Yeah, I mean the ult for the minions is really crucial right there. But we go for this Queen Naga and we are able to just kind of take it for free when you it's just never ending the fight. Like we keep fighting over like pointless stuff, but then the fight goes one way and then it goes the other way, and then Weeboo suddenly have a Queen Naga belt buff on their belts, and now they have permanent 5% scaling on their strength and intelligence. Very, very strong buff, indeed.
The sewer team only has one mode in their arsenal, and that's the W button, right? We mentioned it. It's already bented. It's now dented into the keyboard. Hindu Man doesn't care if he's 1 and 4. He's locking it down. As our lovely production is showing us, Transcendence Devos on her.
And Titan's Bane item 3. This is really interesting to me. I like this personally. I know this isn't like I don't think this is traditional. Like I've seen a little bit of the Transcendence build on her, but I've never seen it double stacking with the Devos. But I really like going the Transcendence into the Titan's Bane because you have that passive. You're able to just get so much auto attack damage out with, you don't really necessarily need the attack speed.
Hindu and Malum may be in a little bit of trouble. But Musy's in the sky looking for a home to land. He's going to find it. Beads forced out onto Tony. And that's a beads for beads for beads. Disco has to get on out of there. But Hindu's still chasing her down. No escape. Going to be popped, but the ultimate from Disco is going to keep us alive for a little bit longer. And the sewer still getting aggressive in there. Tony wrapping around full HP, looking all the worse for wear of it. And I said full HP, but not anymore. Sent into the lamp is Hindu Man once again. Feel like he's been here more than anybody else. And unfortunately, he's losing that fight. On the outside, Fangs takes out Musy. And now Malum's going to be in trouble. Tezdai's over the wall, but we don't have an undying love to our name. Two members of the sewer are the only ones left alive. And Morty, well, he's all the way in the solo lane, trying to get a solo action happening. And here comes the lurking in the waters, and there's the execute. Morty, get him, bud!
Yes, Morty, get the kill. The enemy team is on the fire giant, so getting that kill is really, really important. Maybe Morty goes for a nice steal here. I would be extremely surprised if he even knows about it. I don't know. Okay, okay, they do know about it. They're walking over to it now, but it's at really low HP.
Really low HP indeed. 2K and climbing on down. Tezdai stepping forward. Mort is here opening the doors to distract the team. But Tezdai going for the kills, going for the damage. Fang secures the fire giant and the sewer stepping forward. Mort trying to stay alive. The Undying Love is beautiful. Tezdai takes out Tony. Mort still alive, able to take out another one. Tezdai's going huge in this fight. And Musy's here too. Landed on down. The wall's going to be good. Here comes the hammer. Here comes the spin. An unknown element sent to the grave. The only one left alive with fire giant is Frozen Fangs.
Wow, I can't believe it. They went for the fire giant and then they just sat on it and let it sit at 2000 HP for like 3 or 4 seconds. I think that's a really, really unfortunate misplay there. If you just burn the fire and then turn and run, you come out in a much different situation. But no, instead, Tezdai putting out absolutely crazy numbers here. And the Undying Love, you've got the ravens, the birds, and you're just doing so much damage. The knockback is crazy, and I just love this Afro. This Afro is turning out to be a really crucial member of the team. And look at this build. You go one damaging item, and now you're grabbing Genji's breastplate, and now into the Heartwood Charm. I am loving this Aphrodite build. You are basically saying, yeah, we're gonna have 3 tanks, and there is nothing you can do about it.
The sewer's going to do about it, though, is take themselves another Gold Fury to get themselves the gold lead ahead this time. That's the second pip. So now, thank you, Ashlyn. The nearby friendly minions going to take some reduced damage and deal a little bit more damage as well. Get yourselves a little bit of a speed boost out of that fountain. So able to rotate around the map a lot more is this sewer team. And talk about the sewer team. Talk about Malum maybe caught out here. Beads forced on out. Blaze of Retribution going to be a little bit off the mark. And Malum decided to stay just a little bit too late. Unfortunately, I was about to hype him up, but he just falls down in duo.
Yeah, that is unfortunate, but Hindu Man gets hit with the ult.
180 from Big Tony sends Hindu Man right back into the other dimension. And this is one scary Aladdin. I'm chasing him down. Musy in the air. Looking for yet another home to land. He's going to try and do it, but Hindu Man, unfortunately, is going to fall down all the same. Now Musy's out of this fight. Once the sewer claw their way back in, it's time for the ping pong back for the Weaboo fan club because all 5 members are stepping forward. Tezdai pinned against the pillar. Damage is going to be good. Morty pulled back in. Can we kill the unkillable Croc? No, we can't because he's against the Lurking One, the Waters, and the Undying Love. Tezdai, though, might not be able to say the same. The apple is going to spread all the way around, but no one else has fallen just yet.
Wow. I mean, it's getting there. We're getting into these late game fights where we're taking all of this aggression out on the enemy team, and it's kind of like saying we're just gonna go for all of these towers because we know that we have won the last 5v5 against you. So we're gonna group up 5 versus 5 and say, come at us. What are you gonna do? Are you going to try and engage on us when we've won every other 5v5 in the match? No, we're going to take this advantage and we're going to run with it.
Advantages are what you're going to need to be able to pull one over on the sewer because both these teams have incredible team fights, right? Morty mentioned it time and time again. This guy only has one death because he is so unkillable, especially when his Aphrodite decides to start smooching him. That guy is pretty much an unkillable rock, a mountain this team has to try and overcome. So I'm looking towards this big Sobek man to step up and get some big damage done.
100%, but I have to mention this. Aphrodite going World Stone. This is going to be amazing. I love World Stone on Aphrodite. You have the Heartwood Charm, you have the World Stone. You are able to just put out so much team-wide CC and or I mean team-wide healing. And look at this fight. They're going to group around this Pyromancer.
Sewer might be going for a fight, but in comes Mordred trying to take someone up, and he does. He finds Hindu Man, lions him back on down, but we're a support, so we're not falling down just yet. A huge wall separates everyone for the rest of this fight. Juan is in, but Hindu is out with that pig, and now Tezdai kind of separated from the rest of her team. Musie's in the sky looking for a target. Is he going to land? Nope. He chooses to go to safety. Playing it smart, playing it slower is the sewer here rather than just continually inting. But Musie steps forward, gets knocked up, and the damage is beautiful from Tony. Takes him on out. The first fall of this fight goes to the Weeboo fan club.
Yeah, I mean, look at this Aladdin. You have the double stacking, you have your Jotuns and your Titan's Bane, and now you have an upgraded Aegis. Time lock Aegis, bringing out so much safety. You just click it and you wait for your cooldowns to refresh, and you say, "Yep, we're just gonna go ahead and dash on out." What are you gonna do about it? Your Ares chains are probably down because you used that to engage, and now I'm just out scotch free. It's almost like on Aladdin, I would say it's probably just as good of a pickup as Combat Blink.
Pick up here from Big Tony, able to survive a lot of the damage coming over from the sewer's way. And talk about damage. We have an Aphrodite with pretty much 3 defense items, yet she's top of the damage charts for the sewer overall.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just like Aphrodite stuff. You get your multiple casts of your three, and with the Heartwood Charm, and then with your ultimate, and now your ultimate's on like a 35, 40 second cooldown at best. And yep, what do we got? Okay, it does say the number, but that does not count for the World Stone, I believe. So,
Mhm.
very, very low cooldown on this Aphrodite, going to be able to put out so much value for the team.
Also looking for value here is Burge going up, taking Musi into the sky, and that might be the first pick over. We try to go in the sky, but unfortunately we cannot. Element takes that one out, and there is a blue bird in our back line doing some damage. Apple into the mouth. Damage is going to be huge, and Malum sent to the grave. Now Tezdai trying to do her best to get their team alive, but we're still being ran down by the rest of them. There's the time like Aegis you wanted to see, and it gets Tony the big kill. Mort, unkillable mountain man. What do you got? A good knockup to try and keep Hindu alive, but we finally take out the Croc, and now Hindu might be next up on the list. Heart Slash is going to be good. The burn, not good enough. Hindu Man sent to the grave. And look at the Weaboo fan club. They're knocking on the base, taking the middle Phoenix.
Yeah, look at these HP bars. They're a little bit low. If they were a little bit higher and those tier 2 towers were gone, I would say they probably go for the end there, but luckily for the sewer, there's too much here mitigating for the Titan. You have that percent mitigation for each structure that is alive. That is 4 structures currently. And now you just have to play a little bit of defense. Look at all of those wards over the fire giant pit and around it. That means you are going to know when and where everyone is on this map when it comes to the fire giant.
Right. I wonder where the next big team fight's going to be. Surely it's the Gold Fury, right? Just looking at that map, eyes abound. These teams want to know where the other one is standing. And in fact, the Weeboo fan club decide to start picking up that fire giant. Morty, the closest one to it, but the rest of the team are on the way and they know it's there. It's fallen down relatively fast, pulled down to about half HP, now 3K before anyone else can step in. Big Tony is here, but so is Mort. Can we steal it away? Yes, he does! Mort steps it up, steals away the fire giant. The sewer have fire giant on 5, and everyone is living.
They are just that was insane. Morty gets it with the sickening strike. Not even a pluck, not even an ultimate, just with the 3. Oh my goodness gracious. That is exceptional play. Now this game is right back in your hands. Like, sure, you have a little bit of a gold deficit, but that means nothing at this point in the game. All of your carries are pretty much online. And oh my goodness gracious, Morty, what are we doing? Good job. And now we're going for this gold fury.
Oh, when Mort's feeling confident about himself, he's going to step forward and steal away a fire giant. And now just needs to make sure that the Weeboo fan club can't do the same to him. The Ancient Fury has been pulled, and the rest of the five teammates are on the way. Musi poked down to about half HP. And well, that's a full team on the way. Big Tony climbing the walls, doing some dashes, but not fast enough. With Tezdai, that movement speed is going to be good, but the rest of the team, Juan's on the way. Triple man knockup. Strife hits two. Tezdai uses that Undying Love. Hindu has the Hexstone to try and get out, but Burge on the wraparound trying to get the kills. Tez is low and falls on down. We pull one back into the tower. Musi's in the sky looking for a home to land and call it upon. Bridge sent down to the grave. Morty gets that kill, and now Tony is here trying to get another one. The pluck is going to be beautiful, but Malum falls down regardless. Three members left alive of the sewer. We have a fire giant. Can we defend? The Weeboo fan club stepping forward. The damage from Hindu is enough to sway away Juan from his own Sobek. Now Musi is around, so the rest of the Weeboo fan club can't step forward. Beads forced on out onto Fangs, and now we're restarting the fight back again. Hindu steps forward and gets killed indefinitely. Tony sends that guy packing back to base for another 40 seconds. Musi trying to get the kill, but the wall ride is gonna be good. Tony plucked away, so Musi lives to survive another day. But this Aladdin isn't scared. In fact, walking into the base already.
Wow. I mean, a little bit of a surprising offensive from the Weeaboos here, but it kind of makes a lot of sense. If you know that you have the 5 versus 4, you have that Ishtar guarding your fire waves in mid, it means that yeah, we can take this fire giant fight because we have this confidence. Like we've had the confidence the entire game. And now we are making it be known. We are going for this gold fury, and we do not care what you do, Musi. We're gonna get it.
Musi tries to step it up, see if he can shine some of Mort's glory, but unfortunately, Tony able to secure that one again. So another second pip on the map in favor of the Weeaboo fan club. And so far, 29 minutes into this game, despite them able to steal away or the Fire Giant, excuse me, Weeaboo fan club have themselves a hefty 7K gold lead, 36 kills for the Weeboo fan club, as opposed to the Sewers 21. This game has been back and forth, but slowly but surely, seems like it always comes back to the Weeboo fan club.
Yeah, I would say that Weeboo Fan Club is playing extremely well macro wise, excuse me. And that is just showing here when you have a fire giant that is stolen from you, what is the options that you do? You say, all right, we're gonna look for team mismatches. We have the mid Phoenix down. We have, an ability to group up where they do not, and we're just gonna take it. So good, really, really good heads up play by the Weeaboos to be able to just take the 5v4. And honestly, that might have been the play that they needed to save the game.
Pyromancer going to be taken down as Bird decides to take down a solo tier 2 tower. The rest of the team, though, knows he's there, and Mort is here to try and slow him down before the rest of the team can get him. Pluck off the mark means this Mordred's just going to dash away. Be careful, Morty, because the rest of the team is on the way. Able to not be pursued by the weak as we're lurking in the waters. Morty able to slowly try and get away, but the rest of the team is stepping forward. Here is Juan. It's everybody with that ultimate. Apple goes into the mouth of a happy Hindu man. We use the pig to try and get away, but Musi is here. In the backline is Big Tony. We immune out the ultimate, but we have a time lock Aegis to keep ourselves alive. Musi falls on down, and the shell is good to keep Tony alive for now. The first one to fall is the sewer, and the Weeboo fan club come out on top once again.
They just keep on taking these fights. Like Morty was a little bit overextended, and they saw that. They poked him out super hard. They went for the kill, but then everything changed. They went on Musi. They saw Musi was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and very unfortunate. Musi was looking for a trade there, and if you get the trade, then there's no problems, right? Jungle for jungle is always good, but Big Tony managing to live on just a sliver of HP. Very heartbreaking stuff indeed.
Big Tony. It's big Tony with all those G's. Also, big man Mort stepping forward as the fire giant might be another bait pick here. Hindu man steps forward looking for an ultimate, looking for something to get started. But Tezdai also running it down. These guys, the sewer, you're behind. Don't forget that. Be careful as you run into the power members of the enemy team.
Yeah, they're just I like the confidence, but maybe it's a little bit misplaced. I feel like you should be able to just go for like a defensive play.
Buck off the mark means Morty has to use that lurking in the waters to get on out. Eats an apple for his troubles. But still, that's one tanky croc, so we're not going to fall down just yet. Here comes a Stampede and a Mulan just running down the lane. Undying Love going to be able to immune out a lot of that CC, but Tezdai caught out with a stun might be in trouble here. And in fact, it is. Those Desert Fury is going to be beautiful. Fangs takes another one out. The rest of the team stepping forward, and in fact, means they're going to step on back, get a kill. Let's go get ourselves an enhanced Fire Giant.
They have to be careful here because if Morty gets over there again and steals it, Enhanced Fire Giant is very different from regular Fire Giant, as anyone may know. You hear it, it's in the name, Enhanced. But look at it, it's getting melted.
Oh, he's trying to do it again. Big man Morty, can he do it? Hoot, growl. No, he cannot this time. They thankfully able to learn from our mistakes. The fan club secures the enhanced Fire Giant, and Morty falls for daring to try and repeat history. Sent into the lamp is Hindu Man. And now Big Tony's got some big damage in turn, able to spin around the wall, get a kill. And now Hindu just trying his best to buy some time. 3 people in the lamp is what it takes to take down an Ares. Write that joke for today. Musi, though, been caught on out by Mulan. Juan has a good pull and some big damage to boot on the wraparound. Slowed down just a little bit, but we're still a Thor with a hammer, so we're going to be able to get out of this fight just for now. It's 3 members of the sewer against the Weeboo fan club, and all 5 of them are knocking on the base. The Phoenix falls on down, and they decide to start pouring on in. 3 members, can they do it? The fight starts now. The Titan falling on down. The wall's going to be good, but here's the Blades of Retribution to start the stuns out on everybody. Malum's trying to get some damage, and the beads are going to be good to make sure we don't get separated out into this fight. But the beads are down means we're going to fall to the Nemean. Tony kills Musi. Frangs takes Tezdai, and the Weeboo fan club take game number 1.
Wow, they get the Enhanced Fire Giant, they go for the kills, and then they just win the game. That is textbook ways to win. You're able to just, go through and run it down. Like, Enhanced Fire Giant is so extremely powerful that you are frankly, able to take whatever fight you want, especially when you get a pick onto the enemy tanks. You get both tanks down, Morty and Hindu Man with the ultimates. I mean, it's just kind of, it's easy from there. So they did a very good job in the end game to, force out the win and perform very well throughout the entirety of it.
Tony played absolutely phenomenally. 18-6 on this Aladdin. Big man in the big jungle. Doing a lot of damage here for his team. Top damage overall on this pick, but that's not the only valuable player on this team. Fangs had great ultimates through and through. Those pillar stun combos were an absolute menace from start to finish for the sewer. But hey, that game was extremely close. Tezdai, Morty trying their best to get their team through it, but unfortunately, the team fights just always came up back in the Weeboo fan club's favor.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, it's a very good way to end off the game. Like, you're unfortunately unable to win, but we'll see how they do in the next game.
In fact, the next game will be right back after this short break. Hello, one and all, and welcome back to the Animosity Amateur Smite League. My name is still Moon Mellows. I'm still joined here by the lovely Ryan. Our amazing producer is the wonderful Ashlyn. Ryan, we just watched a barn burner of a game number 1.
Yeah, 100%. Barn burner is definitely the word I would use. All out fight, all out brawl, never stopping, W key only. Definitely a very interesting game indeed. But, Weeboo's able to come out on top, and these picks and bans, or these bans are coming out pretty standard. You taken away the Aladdin from Big Tony, who put out such a masterful performance of it last game. These bans are coming through very quick, but they all make very much sense to me.
Yeah, so far everything's the same except for that Aladdin ban, and now the Cabrakan taking up the mantle of gods not played in this game. And I'm not surprised. Thor going to be hovered and locked in here again. And while Musi did have an unfortunate KDA in game number 1, I still feel like he had a couple and honestly really impactful plays in the early game. Just kind of got ran down a little bit too hard to be able to make too much more impact after all that.
Yeah, 100%. I think that Musi is just really good on the Thor. Like, I like to say it, but I think that there was so many good walls that could have potentially won team fights for the sewer. But I mean, just all in all, Musi, even though the KDA didn't showcase it perfectly, but I liked all of the Thor plays, and the Anvil of Dawn was pretty much well placed every single time.
Top 2 for the Weeboo fan club is Mordred and Pele. That is a scary 1-2 left hook, right hook combo. Bluebird had a huge impact in game number 1, was able to pump out tons of damage, and now Tony on an aggressive god like a Pele. Excited to see that same kind of run it down mentality still staying true for the Weeboo fan club.
Yeah, 100%. And Achilles and Discordia being pulled out from the sewer here. You're taking away the Discordia from them, from the Weeboos, like they pulled out last game. Discordia last game with those golden apples was honestly, if there's a stat that we could see that said the accuracy of it, I'm pretty sure it would be 100%. Every single one of those golden apples hit somebody. And even then, past that, most of them hit multiple people because of the proc effect after the explosion.
Thing I also like to mention is I do like seeing Morton on this Achilles here. Guy hits so much impact on a Sobek, I can only dare to dream what he's able to do in a god who actually does a lot of damage and able to get some executes. Soul and Agni make that triple fire gods on the side of the fan club. They really want to burn this game down.
100%. I love the Soul ADC pickup, or maybe potentially Agni ADC. I don't think so, but Soul ADC into an unknown ADC. Soul is such a safe pickup. Like, you have the Disapparate in the 3, and you're able to just basically immune a lot of damage and CT, and you're able to go through a Ymir wall. So this is just a really good pickup. Soul putting out like really high early game numbers, and Ishtar being hovered and locked in again for Malum.
Same game plan going in over here from the sewer, and honestly, it looked good in the early game, right? Ymir, Ishtar still have that great early lane pressure, and Ymir just kind of a different font as to Ares, right? And while Soul and Mordred can kind of go through the wall, Agni can't, Pele can't, and well, Sobek has to use that ultimate to get away from it, so still a pretty good pick up here from Hindu.
Yeah, and I would say the only downside to bringing a Ymir into the support is that you're not going to have that extremely long range like CC like you would with a Sobek, with an Ares, with those characters, Umoja. But otherwise, Ymir is a very well-rounded character. But look at these drafts. I'm gonna be honest, I have a pretty crazy take here. I wonder if it's Mordred jungle and Pele solo. I know it's probably not, but that would be really interesting to me.
Honestly, give the sewer a taste of their own medicine. I'm not sure if anyone here watched their last set, but they pulled the V-Man formation and put every single god in a role that they shouldn't have gone in and still won the game. It would be good to give them a taste of their own medicine here, but comp versus comp, Rye, which one do you think has the upper hand in the early game?
In the early game, particularly, I do think that the sewer takes it. I mean, Thor with the wall against a Pele or even a Mordred is going to be so it's so impactful. Like you do not have any way through that wall. So if you get hit with a strife and a Thor wall, you're probably just dead in that at that level 2 mark. So I think that Sewer is going to take very early aggression like they did last game, and I hope it pays off because that's going to be a very interesting way to, go into this next game.
The sewer? Running it down? Ending their forehead? No, no, they're totally going to do that. I think they're going to do that from minute 1 to about minute 40 if that game or this game goes that long. We slowly start making our way into game number 2 here. Everyone, welcome to the Animosity Amateur Smite League. My name is Moonmellows. I'm joined here by Rye, and our amazing producer is still the amazing Ash Lynn. Look at these two teams. So far, everything kind of makes sense. We're unfortunately not going to see that Mordred jungle, but we are going to see Big Tony piloting the Pele. So, not quite what you wanted to see, but still good.
Yeah, it's still good, and I'm just, I just like fun. And when you have such a good performance in game one, I think that the Mordor Jungle, it puts out a statement. It's like, yeah, we're just gonna have some more fun. We're gonna win this game, and we're gonna go home with the set 2-0. But I like obviously Pele Jungle is technically a lot better than Mordor Jungle, but looking at this, we got a War Flag pickup from the Ymir. I like this a lot, and we have a shell and 4 beads on the team of the sewer. That is like a statement here. You are extremely afraid of these long range CCs that the weeaboos do have. Like you have the pluck, you have the agni, you have the agni fire, you have the soul ultimate that is extremely long range. You have pursue the weak, you have a knockup and Pele. Every single character has 1 or more CCs. That is very worrying for the sewer.
Well, very much terrified of this ongoing aggression onto those beads this game. And another thing, 4 pairs of beads for the sewer and 3 tier 1 axes all across the board. Hindu Man decides to pick up an axe, so that just tells me one thing. This guy is already hiding in the bush. He's wanting to hit someone and start whacking.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Ymir aggression. Ymir able to get that passive up, you get the tankiness, you get the auto attack damage, and it's just really valuable into the dual lane because pressure is everything. If you hit level 2 before them, then that gives you a lot of kill potential.
Kill potential is the name of the game here if you are the sewer team. Once again, using those lob shots, just went out on a clear, so they're going to hit level 2 first. That's going to be the start of the aggression. Freeze is going to be good, and Juan steps forward. Hindu Man takes out Juan, and there's that early game aggression you're looking for.
100%. You're just like I said, getting level 2 first in dual lane means that you have the ability to just hold the W key, and they love holding the W key. Morty at some pretty low HP bars, but up against a Mordred, I think that this makes a lot of sense, especially when you went Axe and he went Bluestone.
As well as a shield. Hindu Man got to wrap around onto a Fangs here. Has to be in trouble, but we're still level 2, so no wall for us just yet. So aggression's gonna die on down. Not another kill for us just yet, but Tony's getting aggressive in the mid lane. Musi dodges out the fire. The wall's gonna be good. The double hammer takes Tony down low. Tezai stepping forward. The strife is good. The magic also, and the auto gets the kill. Tezdai playing it up, feeling it up over here in the duo lane. Double stun's gonna be good. Juan stepped up too far. Hindu Man takes the kill, and a beautiful wall locks down Fangs inside. Malum gets their first kill of the game. Hindu Man, stop taking them all. Malum needs some too.
Wow, that was an amazing wall here from the Ymir. I mean, you basically covered the entirety of that opening. I mean, that just shows the value that you're able to bring from a Ymir into the duel lane. You have crazy pressure. You have a good stun that lasts a fairly long time. You have the best, or arguably the best, early game anti mobility ability in the game. That wall able to stop your movement basically like kills you at that point in the game.
They start feeling themselves, and Big Tony is like, I don't like this. We need to put him down a peg. Makes a rotation on over. But Malum and Hindu ever smarter about it. But yeah, Big Tony, no, actually stops the back, so they're still staying around. Hindu Man seems to maybe have started to sniff someone out. So the Super's going to be okay for now, and Tony backs on out. That's a pretty huge investment this early in the game.
Yeah, especially because like look, you lost the rocks now. You're not able to go for the early game contestables, and that kind of shows. I mean, look at this small lead that the sewer is pulling.
A small lead. Hindu Man steps forward to Juan once again, locks him into the wall, and the damage is going to force out a shell. But we walk on right on through. That's a phantom shell, by the way. No longer does it give you a shield. Makes us walk through people, so the body block, while good, it's pretty much outplayed.
Yeah. And I do like this aggression from the dual lane. It's just like saying, yeah, we're playing Ishtar, we're playing Ymir, but look at this gank into the solo lane.
And Morty has to be careful because there's ultimates abound. And look at that geometry class! A full-on masterclass from Tezdai bounces, spreads it around, and now it is in fact the Weeboo fan club taken on low. Tezdai kills down the blue bird, and now 4 members finding Big Tony. You try to kill Big Man Mort, we send the rest of the team on the way. We're not letting that guy die.
That was an amazing ultimate from Tezdai, and you come up and you get the Strife and the Unruly Magic that basically guarantees a death here, and Thor's in the air.
Thor's looking for a hammer, finds it, forces out the beads onto unknown element, but unfortunately we take one too many tower shots. Musi falls to the tower.
Unfortunate. I think a little bit of a instinctual drop of the wall there. If you don't drop the wall, there's a world where Tezdai does get the Unruly Magic and the Strife combo and maybe gets a kill. But I mean, looking at these builds once more, I didn't mention it, but Agni went Conduit Gem instead of the Bluestone, which is just a little bit interesting to me. I don't know what kind of like change that happened to me. Like I don't know anything about this. This is just very non-standard, and we're going into that gem of focus. I like this build. I like this build a lot.
Unknown element, not a whim, not a man to be held down by the meta, says, you know what, I'm gonna test some things out in this set with a new build, but sure able to still rock it just as well. Game's getting aggressive here. Both teams have to start getting things early. And there's a separate thing you mentioned about, right? It was a good wall from Hindu, but we just walked right on through it.
Yeah, 100%. And now look at Thor. Thor is just over here, and we might be able to get a kill and get a Gold Fury.
Looking for it. First, he's going to find the red buff, and lurking in the water is going to be forced on out. Juan just moseying their way back onto this tier 1 tower. So that's a big resource off of the map. Musi was around, but unfortunately not able to stick that Sobek down. But he plucks forward, hits a minion, and falls. Malum credited with that kill. Juan, what you doing there, buddy?
Very unfortunate stuff there. We get the oracles in the mid lane, and now we have, I would say this is a perfect opportunity to go to the Gold Fury.
Musi agrees with you, shouting to the rest of his team, come here, this is a Gold Fury, we surely gotta get it, guys, and the rest of the team surely on the way. Unknown element, though, is aware, and if anyone can steal it, it's definitely this Agni, who's got a couple of bombs to his name, probably 3, gonna step forward. Unknown element gets stunned on out, though, but has a stun of his own. Musi's in the sky. Once again, what goes up must come down. Finds a home, stuns out unknown element. Hindu Man, though, secures the Gold Fury for his team. Pays for it with his life, but Malum has the Blades of Retribution. Not going to be good enough to take down Big Tony. And that's one fast Pele. Tezdai falls. Triple kill for Tony. Now Musi has the hammer to get out. We get the Gold Fury, but you pay for it with 3 lives.
That was extremely interesting. We both had the same idea. We go for the Gold Fury, but you do lose the 3 kills. I think that that's a pretty even trade as far as gold is concerned. But I think that like as yeah, you do lose. Okay, it's not quite even. You lose a little bit of gold, but you get that passive from the Gold Fury, and you're able to get closer. And look at this.
Musi stayed a little bit too far. Try to get the purple buff. Beats, though, going to be forced out onto Tony, and a good wall. Make sure Musi is going to be safe for yet another day. Unfortunately, though, we're not able to secure that purple.
Yeah, very unfortunate. Pele coming out with the purple buff, and we've got Erendite item 1 on the Pele. Thanks for hovering this. Erendite, one of my favorite personal favorite items. I love this item on characters like, Susano, Thanatos. Just you want like big burst damage, but not necessarily Pele. I think this is kind of interesting. You do get the movement speed with the 3, but I like it. I mean, just it just plays into this early game aggression and mystical mail being picked up by this Achilles. I like it. I mean, they all build such interesting items.
Tezdai might be caught out here, but we have the apple to make sure we're immuning that one. But we can't immune a pluck on the side of it. Tezdai gets pulled back into the rest of the fan club, but Malum takes out Fangs on the left side of the map. So, kill for kill, ADC for mid, but when you're ahead, the more kills you lose, the worse it feels.
100%. And Morty might be caught out here between a rock and a hard place.
Hard places. In fact, Big Tony and Bluebird wrapping on around. Fatal Strike gets blocked on out. This guy still, though, able to survive. It doesn't matter what he's playing. He's still going to make plays like that and try to get out. But unfortunate this time, Tony able to snuff the hope of escape this time.
I think like just these really small rotations, right? You get a kill in duo lane, so we go into the solo lane. You get a kill in the solo lane, we go to the duo lane. You group up, we group up. Like the Weeboos are really outplaying the sewer as far as like positioning is concerned. They do have the Gold Fury deficit, right? You're down the Gold Fury, but look at that pluck.
Man gets sent straight into the tier 1 tower, but a good wall makes us bounce right back to safety. So we're going to lose about half our health, but no deaths just yet, and that's what you want to see. All the meanwhile, though, Fangs has taken out some farm, but might get caught out here. Hindu Man pulled down to about half health means we don't want to be taking too much more poke, and Disapparate means Soul, speedy, and safe.
Yep, it just looks like there's nonstop fighting. Pursue the Weak comes out, but pulls the beads.
Yeah, Morty uses that beads, and he's going to be A-okay for just a little bit here now. But look on the left side of the map, Hindu Man got plucked once again. That wall's going to be good. But lurking in the waters is Juan, looking for a kill. Forces out the Stampede, so that's one speedy Ymir. Shells abound, means sure we're going to be good. But a double freeze, it's a turnaround time. Malum gets the stun, but can you get out with your life? No, you can't. Frozen Fangs gets those kills every day of the week. Tony wraps around. Hindu Man, how dare you step forward and try to get a kill? Musi now trying to pay for the crimes of his duo lane lands, gets 2, but the beads are even better, and he's stuck in a bad place. Musi sent to the grave, 3 members down.
Yeah, and Tesla comes in with the golden apple, but unfortunately, I think this tower is just gone.
Tower is all but a bygone memory. 5 members of the fan club, but now back off. 10 minutes into this game, it started with the sewer looking incredibly good, but bit by bit, piece by piece, look at that fall on the graph, slowly coming back to the fan club's favor. These fights, they know what to get. They know what objectives, what kills, what picks, and slowly that's going to bring them back to even in this game.
100%. And now we grab the Transcendence, and we grab it item 2, which is totally perfectly acceptable nowadays. Like you get the stacks up pretty easily in the jungle, but right into Transcendence, that is like I don't think I've ever seen those 2 items be picked in this order on Pele. I like it. Like you're gonna go crazy strength, and you're gonna hope that your ultimate and your Pyroclast is going to do a lot of damage in the late game.
Man might have been caught out by Big Tony, but we got some autos of our own. But unfortunately, we don't do enough damage. Volcanic Lightning forced on out to Tony, but Hindu Man just books it away, so we're safe for another day. That's a jungler's ultimate down onto the support for, well, pretty much nothing.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just got to take those trades. Erendite bringing you a little bit of cooldown. You have that tier 1 cooldown, but look, it's never over. We're gonna keep fighting.
Yeah, we got jumps, but so does the Wind Sprite. It's going to be good. Tony caught on out here, but the freeze is going to be good, so Juan can't get the kill. Musi has blood in his eyes and a Pele in his heart, looking for a place to land. Is he going to do it into the heart of 3? Yes, he does. He lands, but Pele just a little bit too fast. That wall is good, but Pursue the Weak brings him into the sky to land back on down. Hammer on Mount means we're safe for yet another day. And now Aegis forced Bluebird has to be careful because Malum is here and the stun is beautiful. Blue sent to the grave, and now this Ishtar walking forward, looking for some more autos to hit on home.
And it looks like they got a little bit of a they took out the Mordred, right? Now it's a 5 versus 4, and they're gonna go for this Gold Fury. I think this is exactly the right play. They're gonna hopefully drop it and take the fight.
Maybe. It looks like it's all for a pool, but Mort and Malum are here doing some good damage to it. Juan stepping forward, plucks Mort back into the rest of the team. And now he's faced into the unknown element, but that's not where you want to be plucking this Achilles. Agni sent to the grave, but Musi falls down as well, and Han kills Malum. It's all up to Tezdai and Hindu to get this fight, get the kill. A perfect Aegis means Fangs ain't gonna fall down just yet, but Tezdai running it down, falls on Fangs, triple kill, and now it's up to Hindu Man, but I'm not sure if we can do it. Knocked up by the Pele. Blue Bird is here, and Tony just means we're going to force it to the shards of ice. Tony gets the kill, denying his mid laner the Quadra. But who cares about that? Because the Gold Fury, that's the true target of the game.
100%. And this exact thing happened last game. We take the fight, we drop the gold. We drop the gold, we go for the kills, and then we all die, and then the enemy gets the gold. And now That is a very bad omens for the sewer here. This gold differential, it's completely turned around.
Roller coaster. You start up really high, and then you're gonna start crashing down to the bottom. The fan club able to again pick these objectives and just play these team fights a little bit better. The sewer have moments of like great shining, great individual play. Just one member gets a little too excited, gets the int ghost overcome them, decide to run it down a little bit and try to get themselves a kill. Really need to rein it in. You're gonna win against this fan club team because they come to play.
100%. And looking at these items again, we've got the Braggies and the Tierfing onto this Soul. I love these items on Soul. You get the hybrid scaling on the Braggies, and you get the auto attack damage on the Tierfing. That is just exactly what Soul likes to see. You're able to, just hold the left click button and say, "Yep, my autos are gonna hit you for like, around 150 at this point in the game." And I'm proccing my death toll, and I have my one. I'm gonna be a big problem in a few minutes when I get my pen online.
Mm, yellow numbers. We like see yellow numbers because yellow numbers do damage. I can't lie. I kind of agree. Yellow numbers are definitely fun, and Fang's doing a bunch of damage. And speaking of damage, Ashlyn, can we get a peek over those damage charts? Just a little bit curious on who's rocking it over. And yep, that doesn't surprise me at all. Big Tony, Frozen Fangs, and Blue Bird knocking on the table, putting the rest of the sewer down.
Yeah, I mean, that's just it makes a lot of sense. You've got the Erendite, you got the fully stacked Transcendence, and you have the Jotuns up now. That means you're gonna just take every fight.
Man gets plucked in. Well, unfortunately, Stampede's not going to be good enough. Element gets that kill. It's just the first one of this fight. Musi, though, wraps around Tony. That's a huge shutdown kill, and the Thor is certainly feeling himself now. Morty stepping forward, getting some stuns on out, but unfortunately, there's three members, and not the rest of the team is here. Pluck off the mark means we're going to save for now. Fatal Strike means we get out of there. Now, Musi got to be careful because here's Blue Bird. Fortunately, the week a little bit off the mark, so the sewer gonna to survive. But as for members of the fan club will walk over to this Queen Naga, the sewer looking relatively healthy and ready for the fight.
Yeah, I mean, look at that amazing pluck into the stun.
Yeah, Morty gets plucked back in. Beads a little bit off the mark, but it's all but a bait. Juan falls first. Morty eventually taken out by Fangs, and Musi soon to follow, but Bluebird is the next target, and the Shards of Ice not going to be good enough because the dash is even better. This Ymir unable to find a kill, and Tezdai being ran at by the rest of the team. Now we're playing together. Now we're playing like a group. But wrapping around, look at that Mordred, looking for some damage, and here's Fangs. We're being pincered around on all three sides, gang. Apple goes into the mouth of the soul, but the damage is not good enough. Bird takes Tezdai back with them, but Hindu Man still wrapping around, still here for the play. All the meanwhile, Malum pushing up that left side map. Frozen Fangs has been found out by a Hindu Man. One auto, two auto. Can't get it because the wall blocks us off. We're rooted and we're booted back to the gray screen. And now, once again, this team picks up the Queen Naga. Malum's rotated on over, but I'm not sure if he can get there fast enough.
Yep, Malum is warded off by our friend Juan, but I like this. I like the plays from the Weeaboos here. They are just going in. They're taking every fight and in an advantageous style. You're going in on the right people. You're ulting the right people, and taking the right trades means that you're able to just get these objectives for relatively low costs.
Morton Malum stepping forward to this King of the Hill objective in the King of the Hill tournament. Stepping forward, capturing the beacon means we get ourselves some pushers, some XP, which is very much needed into this comp. And, well, it looks like the fan club doesn't want to step up for it.
Yeah, and Malum's sitting on a fairly large amount of money. We only have the two items for this ADC, but 3,600 gold in hand. And it's the same story for this for Unknown Element. And I mean, surely Malum's got a back here for this next Gold Fury, but they're just going to take it.
Yeah, Malum gets caught out by Big Tony. Unfortunately, with two items doesn't mean we do enough damage. Tony does, though, takes him out. And now it's Hindu Man versus two. But a good stun and a good fatal strike. Morty gets the shutdown onto Fangs, and now the sewer looking up, coming up on top. The wall makes Tony fall on down. And here's Musi stunning out Juan. Stampede now forced. So four members of the sewer still alive, wrapped back around to the Gold Fury.
Wow. I mean, the fighting just does not stop. And I imagine that this Agni is okay. They're all going to go for this Gold Fury. This is a little bit of an interesting play to me. Sobek, what are we doing?
Sobek steps forward. Juan might be in trouble. Musi, though, in even worse. Pursue the weak, sends him to the sky. Beats a little bit late, means Bluebird gets the kill. Musi sent to the gray screen for the 5th time this game. And now the fan club decide to pick up. Well, never mind. Decide to drop what the sewer started and go ahead and let this Gold Fury unleash. Tezdai and Hindu stay. And it looks like we're having the same thing that happened in game number 1. Just a 5-year Gold Fury fight. Give it up, gang. Just let the fan club have it.
Yeah, we do notice that Malum did back and get that Titan's Bane, but I don't know if it's going to be enough for this fight.
Inhuman step forward and the wraparound from Tony's is better. Volcanic lightning forced to take the Frost Giant back to the grave. Malum is here, but unable to secure the Gold Fury. Blades of Retribution stun everybody, and we have some good damage on the turnaround, but unfortunately, one member is not as good as 5 team members slapping you down. Malum also sent to the grave for the 5th time at this game, and the fan club just playing lights out.
They are playing extremely well here. I think that maybe the Sewers should have just given up that Gold Fury and gone for a little bit more of a tower defense strategy, especially now that Fire Giant is up. You cannot afford to lose any towers in the any Phoenixes in the dual lane. And granted, there's not going to be a push for it right now, but having that open just means that it's easier in the future.
20 minutes into this game, it's been unfortunately a complete wraparound. 23 kills for the fan club as opposed to the Sewers 14, and now a pretty solid 4.5k gold lead in their favor. What can the Sewer do to get back into this game?
I think they need to do similar what they did last time. You wait for them to go for this fire giant. You send Morty over there. Morty performs a miracle, and then you go from there. Um, but on a more serious note, they need to go for these farms. They need to stop taking fights and just take your farm. You know, put out wards like they've done, and just say, yeah, we're just going to go for steals on any objective you try and pull.
You mentioned it a little bit. This guy's pulling out miracles, but it's not really a miracle if you're just playing great. Morty not used to not be as confident as his skills in the solo lane, and honestly, I want to slap him for it now. This guy's playing great lights out this set. And now looking at him to try and get something started for this game. The fan club starts up. The Pyromancer, and it's falling down relatively fast. Pursue the weak sends Musi up into the sky, which means Musi tries to go up to the sky on his own regard. Anvil of Dawn now looking for a target to call home. In fact, gotta look for it and get on out of town. Hindu man has a good wall to dissuade and split up this fight. So the Sewer just kind of denying every bit of engage that this fan club is trying to do.
Yeah, and now when you have full HP bars for basically everyone except for Musi, who is going to hopefully back soon and come to this fire giant. I'm unsure. Okay, yeah, Musi is just taking the long way, but I think that maybe the Weeboos could have gone for this fire giant, but they're gonna go for the tower instead.
Morty steps forward, trying to make the hero play we look for him to do, but unfortunately, with 4 members on the rotation, Tezdai being caught out, Morty is next to fall. The damage is not good enough because a Sobexecute takes us out. As a solo and mid laner down, 5 members still strong for the fan club.
And they're just gonna run straight for this fire giant. This is exactly the type of aggression that you're able to perform when you are ahead 6k gold.
6k gold and a dream. Malum still in the mid lane trying to get some pressure on these waves at least. The Fire Giant down to 6k HP, but we sent a big Tony after Hindu Man to try and take him out. Pursuing the weak is Bluebird. Finds a Musi, sends him to the sky, waiting him with beloved arms is Big Tony trying to get some damage off on it. Hindu Man, Shards of Ice, falling on down. Fangs takes the Fire Giant for the rest of the team. Malum tried to steal, but gets caught out anyways. 2 members now down. Morty on the respawn, but all 5 members of the fan club, the Weebs, they got a fire giant. They got the win in their hearts, and they're taking down this tier 2 tower.
And I think they might just go for just the Phoenix here. I think they're going to get the tier 2 in mid, and they have the dagger on the Soul, which is arguably the best person to have it on. You want it on somebody who can, reliably pop it. So being able to have that disapparate onto the Soul and give you the safety and time is what's necessary for this Fire Giant dagger. and now they're just gonna run over to this Gold Fury and pick up their third Gold Fury, which gives an extremely good buff if we could get a hover over it.
Instead of going for the Phoenix, they decide to elect to get themselves this third pip, which, once they able to secure it for themselves, you'll deal plus 25% bonus damage to structures, and when you're inside an enemy structure, you'll get 50 plus protections of both. Listen, these guys already kind of hard to kill. Imagine being that much harder to kill when they're attacking you, running at you, and just giggling while they do it.
Yeah, it's gonna be really tough for the sewers here to turn this game around. But if you can defend your dual lane Phoenix and you give up the mid lane tower, you give up maybe the solo lane Phoenix, then you can say, all right, we're gonna be there at the next fire giant. And as long as we can stop you guys from just running it down and winning, we have a chance to pull this back around. Going for the next fire giant is going to be the last hope that the sewer have, unless they perform some sort of miracle and win a 5 versus 5 against a team with fire giant belts.
Really hard to do that, especially when you're unfortunately just like you're so far behind in XP this game. Frozen Fangs is level 20 as opposed to Malum 17. That's a 12k XP difference. It's really hard for the sewer to fight back into these teams, and they're making the right play here, just getting all this farm, but all the meanwhile, the fan club's not doing nothing. They're getting a Pyromancer, and now As5 walking down the mid lane.
Yep, they're just gonna run. They're pretty much open lanes to go into this. Look at that blink.
Blink is good, but Musi is able to get into the sky and live for yet another day. Morty trying to be the bastion to save his team, but gets caught out here with some damage. Blue Bird and Big Tony got some damage of their own, but a good strife makes 2 out. Here comes the Shards of Ice. You're locked inside here with us. Big Tony takes a big death, shut down from the Ymir. All the meanwhile in the mid lane, the Order Phoenix falls on down, so Malum is trying to get some kills of his own. Bluebird not taking as much damage as you would like. Morty, though, able to swiftly evade. Hindu Man not able to say the same, but a pluck back in. Malum is in trouble, but a good jolt. Make sure we get out of that one for now, but the rest of the team is running him down. Morty trying to do the best he can to dissuade the aggression. Tezdai gets slowed on out, but we're going to be A-okay. Musi can't say the same, so now it's 2 carries versus the world. The fan club, Malum falls, and the Titan is soon to do as well. 4k HP. Can Tezdai do something? We can take out Juan, try and get the kill, but unfortunately we cannot. The sewer lose 2-0.
Wow, there's just like so much happening in that last fight. You get the amazing Ymir wall and the amazing I'm pretty sure Pele couldn't move. Pele was stuck between a rock and a hard place literally, and you got the kill on there, but unfortunately you do not have enough follow up there. You get the Mordred pulling up people into the air, and then you just let your soul do what soul does, and that's hold left click. Just an amazing way to finish out that set, and just all around really well played from both teams. Big Tony in particularly putting out an absolute masterclass in game 1 and game 2.
It's kind of like, I don't want to say MVP, but I'm going to say it. The MVP of this set. Guy played lights out from set 1, beginning to finish. Set 2, beginning to finish. And looking at the KD's A's here, it's not really a good example of how close these two teams fought. Hindu Man able to have some really good walls, some really good stuns, and like there at the end, like you mentioned, that body block onto Tony was huge and it took him out, but unfortunately, the damage from the team was just better.
Yeah, I mean, just all in all, I like the plays around the objectives. The Gold Fury was a little bit silly that they fought around it for so much, but I think that it was just a really exciting match for both teams.
Yeah, the Sewer take their first loss of this season, but the Weeboo fan club able to go ahead and diminish that beautiful mark that they had upon them. This was a beautiful set, this was a beautiful game, and we are all beautiful people. My name is Moon Mellows, joined by Ryan. Our lovely production throughout the entire thing has been the amazing Ashlyn. Thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you in the next set.